Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. May I request that you please type yes in the chat box if you can hear me? Okay, brilliant. So it appears that we may be having some difficulty with the internet connections today, and my sincere apologies for that. Of course, these are things which are sometimes beyond our control as well. But today, of course, opens the window to perhaps one of our most exciting syllabi or syllabus in the lot, which is the performance arts syllabus. And as you will discover as we go through the syllabus, it's so wide that you can literally think of any art that is worthy of performance can now be assessed. And of course, like all syllabi of Trinity, it emphasizes on building good communicative performances and, very importantly, inculcates and incorporates several of the 21st century skills that we often refer to. To lead us in this afternoon's webinar, I'm very pleased to welcome my good friend and colleague. She's one of India's leading drama and life skill educators and a contemporary theatre practitioner. And in the span of her distinguished career, she's given critically acclaimed performances in several stage productions with the Actor Factor Theatre Company, and she's trained scores of students and teachers across the country. She's also the founder of Joy of Drama, a rapidly growing multi-city organization dedicated to helping children and young adults to develop life skills through drama. She is a colleague of mine, an academic consultant with Trinity College London, and also has an ATCL with distinction and an LTCL in speech and drama and performance arts. There's no one really better to take you through today's syllabus. Please make welcome my good friend and colleague, Vaishali Chakravarti. Hi,
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon, Dale. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I hope everybody can see me. Can all see me?
Yes, they can.
Okay, because I can't see myself.
Okay, so you can just change the view to have speaker in your right-hand panel on the top. You should see something that says view.
Yes.
Okay, if not, what I would do is just for your benefit, I would pin you so that there's no problem.
Sure.
Okay, brilliant. So you're pinned. And now that you're pinned, it's all yours.
Thank you. So I'll just take all of you through what we're going to cover today. So we're going to talk about performance arts. And this is one of my favorite subjects that Trinity has in its store. The reason that I really like performance arts because it empowers me as a performer, and it has the capability of empowering anybody who is gifted or trying out different talents or trying to hone different talents that he or she has. So we're going to talk about the syllabus that really empowers. It has empowered me in my personal life. And so that's the reason I am really, really emotionally attached to this particular syllabi. Then we're going to talk about the construct of the TCL syllabus. Then we're going to talk about the learning outcomes, assessment criteria, and attainment descriptors. Then we are going to softly go into the different skills that this syllabus helps us hone for our children that we teach. And then we're going to look at some sample examples. There are lots of video links that Dale will be sharing with all of you. So these are links which can give you an idea about how the performance could be and how you could design as a teacher. This is an empowering syllabus, not just for the children, but also for the teachers. So before I begin, I'm just going to stop share and I'm going to start share again. But yeah, now I can see myself and I'm going to put myself in that speaker view. Great. All right. This is the syllabus link Dale has already shared with you. as Dale said, that I have done an LTCL in performance arts. I'll tell you why I went for an LTCL. It is very important for understanding why performance arts is an important syllabus or important subject. The first reason why I went for that is because I thought I could sing, I could dance, I could act, I could also do some, Kalaripayattu, which is a martial art form. Those who are from Kerala, they know that. I can also compose, and I can also do physical theater. That means I can do a lot of physical work. Now, if I had so many kinds of things, talents within my own self, which qualification could hone that? So I started with speech and drama, definitely, because that's something that you usually do when you're doing Trinity. But then as I got deeper into the syllabi and the subjects, I got to know that I can use my speech and drama skills and then add more skills to that and do a performance arts syllabus. And that's why I changed route and I did my performance arts. So this is a route that is doable and doable by anybody and everybody. And especially because we live in a country where we are blessed with more than one skill. So I think this is a very good opportunity for all of us, all teachers, all students to explore this particular subject. So let's go back to our slideshow and let's talk about performance arts. Now, the performance arts exam provides candidates with the opportunity to create contemporary theatre that reflects their personality, interests, or culture using performance skills that they already have or to explore new ones. Now, right now, we are 45 of us, and I'm sure every one of us has one skill apart from speaking. I would like you to share on the chat, what is that skill that you have apart from speaking skills? So everybody write down, like I can sing. Ashima is saying she can dance. Susan is saying that she can story tell. Posh is saying singing and comparing. That's also speaking. I want more people to talk. Yes, Garima is saying puppetry, mime, storytelling. Ankita is saying dancing and singing. And Ashima is also saying directing and writing plays. Very good. Keep writing, guys. Mime, mehendi design, excellent. Dancing, acting, any other skill that you have? Any other skill? I like storytelling and singing. Very good. Reshma is saying, I can mimicry. Yes, it is a skill. Anything else? Oh, Posh is saying, thank you. Good. Ophelia is saying, making puppets. Very good. Miming. Excellent. Think more. Stitching clothes for self. Very good. Cooking. How many of you know how to cook? Speak many languages. Painting, singing, voiceover, acting, cooking, caricature cooking. Very good. Baking, sewing. Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those answers. Now, you have all these skills. All you have to do is make it into a performance. The moment you do that, you have a performance skill with you. And performance arts is about all these different skills that we already have and create a performance out of those skills. So let's go and see what else this subject provides. So you have to choose your talent and you have to hone it. That's what you have to do. And Trinity Performance Arts gives you that scope to hone your skills step by step, starting from initial till grade 8, and then your ATCL, and then your LTCL. So it is a massive opportunity, guys, to do this, to do a performance arts exam. And the other reason why we Indians should do it is because we speak multiple languages and our content can be multilingual. Okay, our content can be multilingual. So let's look at the basic skills that usually children have or we have as teachers. So definitely acting, singing, dancing, percussion, magic, miming, filmmaking. Nowadays, due to pandemic, thanks to pandemic, all of us have understood how to use this thing, the space of this device that we have with us all the time. We have been making films starting, I think those who are teaching drama, all your students must be making films and sending it to you. You are experimenting with filmmaking, you're experimenting with camera. So performance arts gives you that liberty to write, script, direct your film, design your film, do the audio for your film, do the lighting for your film, everything. And that falls under performing arts, that falls under performance arts. And because we are diverse, in a diverse culture, we are also free to showcase our own ethnic, cultural arts. So for instance, when I was doing my performance arts, or when I teach my children performance arts, I always ask them to do a folk song, because all of us have a folk song which has been taught to us. We could also do lullabies, which are in your mother tongue. And performance arts syllabus actually tells you, in fact, it kind of inspires you to pick up languages, multiple languages, and perform in multiple languages. Now, there is a little small catch over there. The songs and the dances could be from varied languages. Like you could sing an ODS song and dance an Odissi dance. You could also sing a Hindi song and do Bharatanatyam. You could do that. But there is an aspect which is called contributory skills. We are going to come to that. The language has to be in English. So these are certain things that we are going to talk about more as we go into the syllabi. Now, I have got two more chats. Choreography, very good. Sewing choreography, I'll come to that. So let's go and see what's there inside the syllabus a little bit more. So this is the performance arts syllabus. Let's look at the three things that it actually helps us do. These qualifications are designed to focus on developing skills in a variety of forms. And that includes all the speech and drama tasks. That includes poetry, that includes prose speaking, that includes mime, that includes play extracts, that includes verbal and non-verbal performances. Okay, and you can also explore different range of styles. For instance, you could look at maybe a martial art and match it with a classical Hindustani classical song. So things like that. Then you have the candidate and teachers choose their own performance forms in which they have a particular interest and builds confidence. And it builds their confidence seriously. If you are a Kathak teacher and you would like your children to take the Trinity performance arts examination, then definitely Kathak is there, but you can fuse it. You can fuse it. You can create your own choreography, and choreography becomes a contributory skill. So we'll come to that again after a while. These exams present candidates with practical, creative tasks that prepare them for situations both in education and workplace. See, we have been talking about 21st century skills a lot. Everybody has been talking about that. We all are talking about 21st century skills. But what I always feel, and what at Trinity also, what we all believe, is that a skill is there for life. So if you learn your skill now, it is not just going to serve you now, it's going to serve you for the next 50, 60 years that you live. So it is very important that we hone the right kind of skills. And by skills, I just don't mean performing skills, but also life skills. Because most of the children whom we end up teaching don't end up becoming great artists, or don't end up becoming professional dancers or professional singers, but they do become very confident professionals in whichever direction or whichever space they are in their adulthood. So it is very important for us teachers to understand what is it that is there in the child and then hone that skill. If the child is, we get a lot of this, right? Teachers, you can say a yes if you do. We get a lot of parents who come to us who tell us that my child is very shy. He does not want to say, he doesn't want to speak, he doesn't want to do anything, he doesn't want to interact with other kids. He does not want to, or she does not want to interact with other, relatives. And then we expect our child to say a poem or do a dance or sing a song. How is that possible? It's not possible for a child who's very shy. But if that shy child has an interest in playing the piano, put him into a performance arts exam. Help him hone that skill. Help him do a small little piece, maybe a self-composed piece, and present it in front of the examiner. That will boost his confidence like nothing else can, because a quiet child is only quiet. And something that I believe is that no child is shy. So I think that is something that all our teachers, all my friends over here who are sitting and listening to us, should also write it, that no child is shy. The child could be quiet. Every child has an interest in a performance skill, because every child wants to express. Now, as a teacher, we need to find out what that expression is and then direct the child towards expressing through dance or song or playing a piece of music or painting or anything. And all these things can come under performance arts syllabus. I've got lots of chats. Sorry, I'm not looking at that. Yes. So, yes, I know. This is a struggle that all us teachers need to go through, and parents expect that we will be able to pull their children out of that shell. The thing is, we can do much, all we can do is direct the child. The syllabus that Trinity gives us helps us immensely in doing that. And because the syllabus is so free, it really gives you that possibility to create, merge, and make concoctions of your own choice. So if a child can speak, he does a poem, and the other skill that he can show is maybe mime, which is exactly what you do for a grade initial speech and drama exam. But you could also do it for the performance arts exam. But the performance arts exam will give you the liberty to compose your own poem. All right. So that is the nature of performance arts, because it gives you a lot of freedom. It gives you a lot of authority over your own self. And that authority is what the children need. They need assurance and authority. And performance arts syllabus gives you that. So I think the best syllabus to begin with for your children when they're little tiny, tiny tots, they're like 6-year-olds or 7-year-olds, is the performance arts syllabus. And then you can put them, then you will see who is good with speech and drama, who is good with acting, or maybe somebody is good with musical theater. You should put her there. So as teachers, you become empowered. You know exactly how your child is finding or paving her way, how your students are moving along the course. All right. Let's go into the next section, which is these two are, just remember these two phrases, because these are very, very important: the performance skill and the contributory skill. For a performance arts examination, these two are the most important things that you have to note and keep making notes of. Now, I've stopped sharing. I would like to interact with you right now, and I would like to know, what do you think a contributory skill could be? What is contributory skill? Teachers who are already teaching, please don't answer. But those who are not teaching performance arts, take a wild guess. What could a contributory skill be? It is contribution, yes. So what could a contributory skill be? collaboration with the students. Okay, all right, helping each other. Yes, you got the word right, contribution, right? But if I have a performance skill, which is say dancing, what skill will contribute to that performance skill? What skill that I have will also contribute? Very good. Singing. All right. So if I'm dancing and I also sing along with my dance, suppose I'm doing Kathak, and Kathak is all about singing and dancing both. So if I'm dancing, singing becomes my contributory skill. If I'm miming, makeup becomes my contributory skill, because makeup is also a skill. All right. If I am playing an instrument, what could be my contributory skill? If I'm playing an instrument, Kimberly, yes, you said playing an instrument could be a contributory skill if I'm singing. But if I'm just playing an instrument, what could be my contributory skill? If I'm just playing a musical instrument, what could be my contribution to playing that musical instrument? Reading music? Very good, reading music, but that's a skill, definitely. But the other skill could be composing the music. I'm telling you, here we have the freedom to compose our own, yes, composing our own music. We can compose our own music in this, all right? And so when we are looking at a performance skill, there is always a contributory skill that is complementing the performance skill. And why we need to remember the contributory skill and the performance skill is because in the performance arts syllabus, today we are just going to talk about grade initial to grade 3, but in a performance arts syllabus, grade initial to grade 3 and above, there is an option that you get, that you can choose from, whether you want to showcase a contributory skill or another performance skill. So we'll just go back to our slideshow again, and let's look at, we'll come back to this later. If we look at grade initial and grade 1, grade initial, the demands are that the candidate creates and gives a performance that demonstrates a performing skill. And mind you, it's just a demonstration of a performing skill at a basic level, very, very basic level. The second demand that the syllabus makes is the candidate must be able to listen and respond appropriately in conversation on the prepared material, including demonstrating a basic ability to discuss the skills used. For instance, suppose I am doing a poem. Okay, that's my performance skill. I perform a poem. And then there's a conversation, as every Trinity exam has. It always has a conversation with the examiner, because the examiner wants to know how your process has been. It does not matter if you're a 6-year-old or a 60-year-old. The examiner will give you the same amount of dedicated year to listen and expect a very, very honest response to these questions. Now, usually the examiner asks questions like, okay, so tell me about how you used your voice or how you used your speech while you were doing the poem. So the little child could say, oh, I was, this is a happy poem, so I was really, thinking of a happy moment while saying this poem, or I was smiling while doing this poem. So when you're doing a poetry performance, these are the subtle skills that actually you use. You end up using pauses, you end up using expressions, you end up using stress and emphasis and things like that. So it depends how you train your child, you train your student, where the student is able to have a conversation with you during the training and give you a very honest response on what skills child has been using while doing a performance. Then we come to create and give a talk about a contributory skill at a basic level. So if I have composed my own poem, so I should be able to talk about that. I should be able to talk about what made me think about the poem. Why did I write the poem? That day I was feeling very happy and I wanted to write a poem on my school. And my school has lots of interesting things that I can do. And I have my best friends who go with me to school. So I wrote a poem about my friends and myself in my school. So that is a very basic level talk that grade initial or a grade 1 child can have with the examiner, where the contribution is the composition. The child can also say, I rhymed this word to that word, and we have rhymes here and there, and I've just used 4 words in each line, and I've composed 4 stanzas of poem. So when you're teaching a child, make sure that you're teaching composition to your child. You're also teaching the structure of the poem at a very basic level. But the child should be able to answer questions or have a discussion on the rhyme, the beats, and the number of stanzas, and the basic mood of the poem. So this is something that as a teacher, we all need to make ourselves ready for, that whenever we are preparing our children for poetry or prose, these are the basic ingredients that we need to develop in our children. We need to key in these skills. As we go into grade 2 and 3, there's something interesting that happens. They expect you to merge 2 skills together. So like dancing and singing, a gentleman was speaking, right? I mean, just messaged some time back. Dancing and singing can go hand in hand, right? So when dancing and singing goes hand in hand, you're actually merging 2 different skills together. And in grade 2 and 3, they expect you to do that. They expect you to merge 2 skills, 2 performance skills together. Okay, and that's something that the child then can perform. So singing and playing an instrument, singing and dancing, miming and maybe dancing, right? So there's acting, miming, and then there's dancing. So both of them can come together as one performance, where 2 performance skills are coming together. So we will now make certain permutation combinations of different skills that we can bring together. All right, I'm getting questions, but I'll take those questions a little later. So here, if you see, at grade 2 and 3 level, you are expected, that the candidate is expected to create and sustain performances that demonstrate performance skills. So creating is one, and sustaining is the other. You have to sustain a performance. If I'm doing contemporary dance, if I'm doing Bhangra, for instance, I have to sustain the dance so that I'm able to communicate the expression and the idea behind the dance to my audience. And who is the audience in this case? The examiner. Okay, so sustaining the performance starts from grade 2 and it goes on till grade 8. So holding on to a character, holding on to the energy, holding on to the expression, holding on to the communicative meaning of the piece that you're presenting is very, very important. So that is something that we need to start honing in our children from now on. So that means longer pieces and more work on sustaining those longer pieces. Okay. And then you also need to show some technical proficiency. For instance, I'm doing a cookery show. Okay, so if I'm doing a cookery show, then I have to cook as well as speak. Okay, so that also falls under the, grade 2 and grade 3, where you're combining two different skills. So cooking skills combined with speaking skills. So that comes together and it becomes a cookery show. Now, what are the technical proficiencies that we're talking about? When we talk about technical, we don't talk about gadgets. That's not technical that we are talking about. Technique over here is how you blend those two skills together. When is it that you stop cooking and start talking? And when do you stop talking and start cooking? Or if you're doing both, how do you manage your pace? How do you manage your pauses? How do you manage your intonation or inflection? Are you inflecting when you're cooking? So if I'm kind of doing a little cookery show and I'm putting in salt, so how am I using my words to put in salt? So I can say a dash of salt. So what happens when I'm having vigorous physical activity? What technique do I use with my speech to match that or complement that? I decrease my pace. So these are the technical proficiencies and some technical proficiencies that you will need. Then you you're expected that you listen and respond appropriately on the conversation. Again, you have to demonstrate the understanding of the skills used. So that is also very important. You have to demonstrate, okay, I understand cooking, I understand baking. Because for baking, you need A, B, and C, and that is how you bake. So I understand how baking works. I understand how speaking works, because when I'm speaking, I'm looking right at the audience. I have made eye contact. I have used voice modulation, where I'm at times going up or down the pitch, or I'm going slow or fast, and you're working with a pace. So this is basically understanding of skills. So when as teachers, we work with our students, it's very important to lay down the basics first. Definitely, we'll work with the kind of skills that they like working with. But at the basic level, everybody needs to know how breath works, how speech works, how your body works, how your posture works, how your space, how you work with respect to your space. So these are basic ingredients of a skill that you are going to teach. And that could be any skill. That could be speaking skills, that could be acting skills, that could be singing skills. Even for singing, you need to know your space. Who's your audience? Where are you looking and speaking? Where are your vocal registers, etc.? So all of us are teachers here, so we all know that. The only reason I'm telling you this is because from grade initial to grade 3, there is a nice and a very quick progression in the way you demonstrate your skills in the performance arts syllabus. So this is a little chart that I've made. I mean, you can make your own chart, and we will be making our own chart right now. So we have a performance skill and a contributory skill. Okay. So if singing is the performing skill, then writing the lyrics is the contributory skill. If puppetry is the performance skill, then making the puppets. Somebody said making puppets, that's your skill. So making the puppets become the contributory skill. Then we have dancing as the performance skill. Choreography becomes the contributory skill. So, so let us do a little, a list of all the performance skills that are possible. And what I want you to do is think of a contributory skill that matches this. So let's begin from the first one. Performing a poem, prose, or verse extract from memory, including not traditional rhythmic forms, example, beatbox, slam poetry, rap, spoken word. So if we are doing this kind of work, which includes poetry or prose, what could be the contributory skill? Quickly, I'm just giving you 5 seconds to write it. Okay, music, very good. We could have a background music that we could compose. And on that background music, you're doing your prose or your poem. Very good. Thank you. Ashima has written writing the poem. Yes, thank you. Shamira, you have a question over there. I'm going to come back to that question later when we do our question answer. Okay. All right. If you're doing performing a piece of mask work where we are just putting on a mask and acting, could be verbal, could be non-verbal. What could be the contributory skill? Definitely making the mask. Yes, this extensive list is available on page 15 of the syllabus. Please go through the syllabus. In fact, whatever we are going to talk, we are talking today is from the syllabus book, and it is the go-to thing. If you really want to understand how the syllabus works, definitely the syllabus book is where you should look for. But right now, we're just having a conversation where we kind of discuss what could be the possible combinations. Drawing the characters in the passage, but are we using that in our performance? If you're using that drawing in our performance as a prop or a property, then that becomes our contributory skill. Yes, for the prose extract. All right, Susan. For mask work, what is the contributory skill for mask work, guys? If I'm doing a mask performance, what could be the contributory skill? Dance, okay. Okay, so if I'm doing mask and I'm doing dance, then contributory skill becomes choreographing the piece or scripting the piece, okay, or directing this. Yes, Valerie, yes, choreographing. Yes, yes, right. Okay, we have done this. If we are, okay, so if you're doing a comedy stand-up routine, what is it? What is the performing skill? If you're doing a comedy stand-up routine, what could be the contributory skill? Scripting, script, very good, very good, very good. Mimicry, very good, Shamira. Mimicry could also be a contributory skill because we don't know what kind of stand-up comedy routine we are going to do, right? If you're mimicking personalities, then yes, mimicry could be another skill that contributes to your performance. Performing a magic trick. What could be the contributory skill for that, guys? Performing a magic trick. Costume. Is that what you meant to say, Valerie? Yes, yes. I think you're saying costume. Costumes and choreography. Yes, yes. Excellent, excellent. Presentation. Presentation is the entire scripting and directing. Jugglery could be one of the performance contributory skills, but jugglery can also be a performing skill. So if you're doing a magic act and you also bring in jugglery into that, then you can do a grade 2 exam because you can do 2 performing skills together. All right, let's look at this. Perform a sequence of stage combat, okay? From like fencing, hand-to-hand martial arts. So what could be the contributory skill for this? Stage combat. Again, choreography, very good. Music, very good. Okay, all right. A piece of physical theater for memory, which includes miming, clowning, verbal or non-verbal movement to music, etc. What could be the contributory skill? Some contributory skills have not been touched at all. Think of it. Think about it. Costume, definitely for physical theater. What else? Remember, this is a performance skill. Your contributory skill, acting. Physical theater is acting. So that is the performing skill that you're presenting. But what is the contributory skill? What is contributing to that acting of physical theater? Very good, Anand. Light setup, lighting, light direction. Please do not forget light, set, costume, all these 3, sound operations, and music production also comes under contributory skill. Vocal skills is, if you're doing physical theater, if you're doing a song while you're doing your acting, then that becomes a contributory skill. It can also be another performance skill. All right, good. We have good response from all of you. Thank you so much for doing that. Now let's look at the various contributory skills that we can have. There you go. So let me just list this out because this is my favorite bit. A demonstration of character, facial body makeup in form of an illustration of your own work with commentary, or a live demonstration of your technique. So I did this once with one of my students who was doing Kathakali performance, and she did her entire makeup to show how the contributory skill would work, how she would first put this paint and then on top of that, the other paint, and how she would make the colors, how she would use the brush, because for Kathakali, you use different kinds of brushes. You don't use the normal brushes that we use for makeup. So that happened first, and then she went into the performance. So she did that. You can do that. Okay. So you show your makeup, your own self, or you can bring another person, as a model, and do your makeup on that person to show this is how the makeup is done. Okay, suppose your contributory skill is costume designing. So you can click pictures at every stage of your costume design. So from procuring the fabric to designing, giving the designs, to going to the tailor and getting the first draft done, to finishing the entire costume. So you can document the entire thing in photographs and make a small presentation and present it to the examiner. So either actual costumes or illustrations. Then again, presentation of a stage prop. Now, stage props usually what we use boxes, we use maybe something that's already there. You don't create a prop unless and until it is very unique, and it has to be, you can't be procured ready-made from the market, right? So in that case, you tell them why you chose this prop, and you also show the series and set of props that you have chosen for your performance. So the reason you chose it, and this is why you chose it, and this is the prop that you chose. So this is something that you can present in your contributory skill presentation. Again, puppets, stage puppets, presentation of a piece, recorded media, where if you're doing a dance piece on a music that you have composed yourself, you show how you composed it. You talk about your inspirations, etc. So this is the list. You can also find it again on page 15 in the syllabus. Let's quickly move on to these life skills that we're talking about. So we all know, most of us are teachers, and those who are not, we all have performed at least once on stage. And if any one of us has ever performed on stage, we know that we have done all these things, right? We have communicated with an audience. We have brought in a little bit of creativity in our performance, in our being, and which stayed with us throughout after that. Then working under pressure, all of us have done stage shows in school. So we know how it is like to work under pressure. And then organization skills, definitely coming for rehearsals, being on time, organizing your rehearsal space, organizing your set, your costume, your music, your makeup before you go into your performance. Very, very important. Critical thinking skills. Which one to perform first? Shall I do the singing first and then dancing? Or should I do the dance first and then singing? Oh, no, I shouldn't do the dance first and then sing, because if I dance, I'll run out of breath and then I won't be able to catch breath when I'm singing. So how you position your performance also matters a lot. And once you've done all this, it gives you immense confidence. And that's what Trinity exams are all about. It is about giving you that confidence that you have somewhere hidden. Just we need to pull that out. And who knows better than us, the teachers, right? So this is something which I always, look at whenever I am worried as a teacher that am I doing the right thing or not. So when I get worried whether this is the right thing to go for or not, this is what I see, and exactly this is what happens when you're working with children, and especially when you're working with the Trinity syllabus, because one, it makes you extremely organized. It makes you very proper with time and with efficiency. And third, it makes you believe in your ability, in your talent. And that is something that children need. So I think this is something to really keep, a mental note of. So we are doing RQF level 1, which is grades 1 to 3. Again, a lot of literature is found in the syllabus, so you can just go and take a look at that. For the exam structure, we have the first performance skill, then we have either the second performance skill or the contributory skill, and the reflection task, which is the conversation with the examiner. Now, this is the great initial syllabus. Those who have the syllabus with you, those who have the PDF that they'll send you open in front of you, can see this. And this is an 8-minute examination. And the first performance is just one performance skill. Could be a song, could be a dance, could be a poem, could be a magic trick, could be playing, ukulele, or doing a martial art routine, saying a joke. Could also be a performance skill in this stage. Then the second is either, you can choose one, either a performance demonstrating one performance skill, which is different from the first one. So if I'm singing, I will not sing another song. If I'm dancing contemporary, I will not dance Bharatanatyam. If I'm singing classical, I will not sing a pop song. Singing is a skill. Within singing, you can do many things, but that's still singing. Singing jazz is also singing a bhajan. Okay, so it falls under the same category as singing. Please remember this. You cannot do two different dance genres for this exam. You have to either do one dance and one song, or one dance and one poem, or it could be one mime act and one dance. That could be possible. A physical theater and a dance could be possible, but you can't be doing two forms of dance. So that is something that we have to really take care of. And then engagement, you with a conversation with the examiner. So that's something that you have to do. These are some links that you can take a look at. Dale, if you could just copy paste this to our chat box, if possible, then all of you can take a look at this later after this. So these are just examples. These are not from the examination. These are examples which will give you an idea of how you could help your child perform or prepare for a performance. This is grade 1. It is the same thing, just that the time increases over here. Okay, so if you look at this, you had 2 minutes maximum time for the second performance. Here you have 3 minutes and 3 minutes here as well. So it's a longer performance. So sustenance, remember I was talking about sustenance. This is again 3 different links that I've shared with you. This can be looked as a reference video for the performance skills. And then we have grade 2. In grade 2, this is something that changes over here. The candidate gives a performance or gives 2 performances demonstrating 2 performance skills. So either in 5 minutes, I do a song and a dance separately, or in 5 minutes, I do a dance and I sing as part of the dance. Okay, so either you can do one performance where you merge two performance skills, or you do two separate performances. If you have any question right now, just type it onto the chat section. Do it right now if you have any question, because this can be a little confusing. So please write down your question if you have any. So in grade 2, the first task is maximum 5 minutes. Either you could do two different performance skills, present two different performance skills, like one song and a dance within that 5-minute time, or you could do one entire physical theater piece with a song in middle, or maybe a poem in middle, something like that. Okay. There could be many more combinations. You can share if there's a unique combination in your mind and you don't know whether that will make sense or not. So I can respond to that and tell you whether that combination will work or not. Okay. Then we have, in the second task, we have the candidate gives, again, you can either do another performance demonstrating one performance skill. Okay, this can be the same or different to those used in task 1. For if you have done a dance in task 1, you can do another dance for task 2. Okay, either you do another performance or you demonstrate a contributory skill. So if you have done a dance and a song for your task 1, then for your task 2, if you want to talk about your contributory skill, it could be how you created or you choreographed the entire performance, entire piece. You could talk about that. Make sure you document everything. When your child is performing or preparing, when you guys are rehearsing, please take photographs and keep them, because they will be of immense use when they're doing the conversation. Okay, when they're talking about their contributory skills. Do not forget to click pictures, because they're going to help you a lot. So that's your contributory skill. Now, if you see the time has increased over here, it's 5. Now, if you go to grade 3, it will be 6. Okay, it's the same thing, grade 2 and grade 3. The demands are the same. Okay, but the time increases. Remember, I was talking about sustaining. Sustenance is what they're looking at. Okay, so these are some, again, some links that Dale will share with you, and you could go through it. So this is grade initial to grade 3. Whatever we did was grade initial to grade 3. I think it's time to take some questions.